Oh, holy crap. It's only Thursday, but it has been quite the week. Got my new glasses, decided to go ultimate hipster with it. So, Monday I had an exam in linear algebra, which I felt a lot better about than the first test. Ended up still not doing very well on it, partially due to time, as usual. Just frustrating. And then Tuesday I had my logic midterm. Didn't do well on that. Probably because I've been devoting so much time to math. Regrettable, but it happens, I guess. It's not the end of the world. And today I had a Calc 3 exam. I didn't devote much time to preparing for it until basically Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon. And at that point I realized just how far behind I was because it's so much material. Like my teacher is covering basically a section every day and a half. And so 3 weeks goes by and it's so much material. And luckily, she gives a practice exam, so I know, at the very least what's going to be on it, and usually less than that. But it's just so much to remember, like equations to remember, which is kind of a good and bad thing because usually those problems are, plug and chug, like you figure out, put givens into an equation and whatever, and some of it not so much. Mainly all the stuff dealing with partial derivatives and chain rule and stuff. What was that? Yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I got together with some kids in my class. That ended up being fun and productive, and we got a study room in the library. We were there for 4 hours, 5 hours, and that helped a lot, especially when, studying with people who know the material a lot better than myself. And then I came home and stayed up until midnight studying. I've never pulled an all-nighter in college, and last night is about the closest I've come to considering doing one, but I figured that the amount of proficiency and confidence I would gain from that would be negated by just me being exhausted and just out of my mind come test time, because every time I've ever had to do an all-nighter while I was on duty in the military, the next morning, through the night it's okay, and then come the next morning I just get insanely jittery. And even if I don't have coffee or caffeine or anything, I'll be super tired and exhausted, but I won't be able to sleep, and it just messes me all up, and it's just generally an extremely uncomfortable feeling for me. So I try to avoid it whenever possible, but math is math, and if it requires X amount of preparation, then you may as well give it that. And I felt really good about it. I got the test. I didn't blank out for once, for the most part, which was a welcome relief, because usually that's one of my big things. I just get inside my head, and I woke up. I didn't sleep very well last night. I woke up so nervous I was nauseous, and I got to school an hour and a half early. And luckily my classroom was unlocked, and it's stadium seating, and there's a bunch of chalkboards that are in between each other, and they go up and down and stuff, so you can write on one, move it up, write on the other, and that's what I did. And I just wrote stuff out, tried to write equations from memory as often as I could, just work through problems just for the straight muscle memory, even though I'd already, solved them, just for the sake of doing it and understanding it and seeing it. Because I've tried to do that in the past, just look at problems, solved, worked out problems, and try to remember the process. But I still don't think it's quite as good as continuing to write it out, solving a problem and then just rewriting it over and over again. I think that helped me, and I imagine that probably helps a lot of people in general. So I prepared all the way up until class time. I actually put a lot of equations on the board and then pushed it up so that the whole 50 people could see it. And then the TA erased it when we were getting handed up, but whatever. So I felt good about it. I worked through most of the stuff. There was one I blanked out on a little bit, so I only did it partially. And instead of doing that, I tried to do both the bonus problems, which aren't as much together combined as a regular problem, but it's still points, right? And it's not out of a lot of points. So I don't have a lot to work with. And I was like, all right, I more or less finished this for, relatively speaking, compared to how much I usually get done. And I walked out of the class. I put my headphones on, listen to music, feeling good. Got a half hour until my next class, and then I'm like, wait a second. Did I finish it? Did I do all of the stuff that I could? And I threw it in the group me. I was like, I might be paranoid, but I think one of those questions was 4 parts, and I only did one of them. Am I crazy, or is that the thing? Because for the life of me, once I walked out, I couldn't remember. And one of the girls in my class was like, yeah, that was a 4-part question. And I'm like, shit. That's I don't know how many points it was, but 2 or 3 possible points out of 19 that I just straight missed out on because I didn't do it. It's God, great. Just when I feel good about a test and devote massive amounts of time to it, a total of 9 hours yesterday and one this morning. And I get so caught up in other stuff. It's just rookie mistake. Not reading the entire problem and going back and checking. And I should know better. I totally should. And I'm just kicking myself in the ass really hard because of it, but it happens. Pick up and move on and learn from it, right? But now it's Friday Eve. I was gonna get some tutoring today, but I guess that's not gonna happen. Tutor hasn't texted me back. You know, I texted her 10 a.m. So I don't think that's gonna happen today, which is whatever. I'm gonna try and work on that myself. But tomorrow, I just got class, no tests, nothing. I'll be done at 10:50, 11 o'clock. I'm so glad to be past that test. Like, when stuff like that comes up and I just get so into my head about it, I forget that like life will exist after it, you know? And it's just like, oh, the test is done. I can breathe now. And so I'm relaxing at 4 p.m. on a Thursday. I'm having my celebratory Bud Light, and life's good. And next week will be smooth sailing. Won't have any tests, and then the week after that, spring break. So we'll be in New Orleans for a couple days. That'll be a great break. I think this weekend I'm going to try and go out with some of Anna and I's mutual friends, and also one of my veteran friends. Bobby's whining. He got fixed Monday or Tuesday, and the vet was like, oh, here's the pain pills. He's going to be out of it. He's not going to want to eat or do anything else. Yeah, right. As soon as he got home, he was jumping all over the place like nothing ever happened. I guess I wasn't supposed to, but I let him off leash the day before yesterday and let him run around and get the zoomies out. And I guess I wasn't supposed to do that for fear of, you know, tearing his stitch, but he's been just fine. I don't think his behavior has changed much, but I think that'll probably be, you know, a month or two before that really kicks in. Look at this boy. Look, say hi. He's funny. He's a pain, but he's funny. He's got a strange sense of humor. But he's very needy. So that's that. Despite being on cruise control for the rest of the week, I think I'm still gonna do some math today just because I'm trying to stick to my promise of not having any zero math days. Doing math at least a little bit every day. So as of right now, let's look and see. So as of today, we're 51 days into the 51 days into the semester. That includes weekends, of course, not strictly school days. And we've done, I've done 109.75 hours to math. So that includes tutoring, watching tutorials on YouTube, preparing for exams, and doing homework. So that averages out to a little over 2 hours a day, like 2.1 or something like that. I don't think I'm gonna hit 3 hours on average for the rest of the semester because I've just been doing like between 2 and 3 and a couple 0 days in there. I don't think I'll hit 3, but A for effort. And that's that. I think I'll make a video for my how I studied for my finals, at least for my math. That's gonna be that's gonna be a rough week for me. I keep telling myself that this semester is like damn near gonna kill me, but I don't see it getting easier from here, so I may as well learn to flourish in the pain of it. The downside, kind of obvious, but one of the big downsides that I really hate about having such a demanding schedule is that everything else falls to the wayside, including my classes that I admittedly don't care a lot about or aren't important to my major, like logic. That should be a relatively easy class, but I've devoted almost zero time to it. And stuff like spending time with Anna, I've done almost zero of that, and props to her for dealing with my cranky ass when I'm super stressed out and I don't want to do anything except stare at a computer screen or my paper and study. Housework doesn't get done, dishes don't get done, you know, just everything just kind of falls to the wayside. And I don't like that. I mean, I don't like having a messy house and, you know, a dog that doesn't get played with as much as he should, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So this weekend, I think I'm gonna devote like a half day to just doing zero school related stuff, just strictly household stuff, spending quality time with Anna, exercising for once. God, I haven't consistently exercised in probably 2 months. I ran 2 days ago, like a mile and a half or whatever. That was nice. Consistent exercise has not been a thing for me for a very long time, and it's unfortunate. And I remember having a conversation with my parents when I was in high school And I was at the height of my cross country and track and field craze, and I was convinced and very confident in my opinions, as a lot of young adults are. Exercise should be extremely important and should be at the top of your to-do list, no matter what stage of life you're in. And you should always make time for it. And if you don't have time for it, then you should make time for it no matter what, no questions asked. I remember my parents being like, "Okay, yeah, you gonna learn," And yeah, I'm learning that there's not enough hours in a day. If I got up at 4 a.m. or even like an hour earlier, I could exercise, yeah. But then I'm gonna be more tired in the middle of the day. I'm not gonna be able to focus, which is already challenging for me in general, just because of the way I am. There's not always time for everything, I don't think. Not all college majors are created equal, and all the time I'm seeing people on campus. They're just like hanging out with their friends and being cool and whatever, and going partying like every weekend or several times a week. And it's just like, I kind of want that, and I kind of don't. I mean, I don't know what those people are majoring in, but I'm sure it's not math or engineering. Well, whatever. I asked for this, and I'm convinced it'll pay off. Anyhow, I think I'm done ranting for now. I think I'm gonna do some homework, some fiddling, try and chill out. Anyhow, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.